Anderson's West Side has experienced a food desert since Marsh Supermarket closed their doors nearly 5 years ago. Well, everyone agrees that the void needs to be filled, but now there is a group united for the cause of solving that problem. The project is focused on the site of the former Marsh store. Mattie Walsh is a spokesman for the Grocery Project and is sharing some of that group's plan with us to make it happen and make a difference. Mattie, what's the driving force behind the realization of this project?
It's primarily for social reasons. I care deeply about children, and I care deeply about those who are homeless and those who are financially sensitive. We want to help eliminate the food desert within the West Side community of Anderson. Jericho Chapman and Bryce Bale and myself, this is the first time we've ever tackled a project like this.
What draws your attention to Anderson?
All three of us live on the west side of Anderson now, and we see the need. And when I hear in these comments on Facebook and I see it in papers and stuff like that of people being so negative about all these buildings being empty, I think it's a perfect opportunity to see the ability to be creative within the west side of Anderson and allowing the people to make it in their own image. We don't need gentrification. We need an identity to help get the ball rolling and growing this community into what we want it to be. So that's kind of our inspiration on that.
Did you decide that this was a mission that you were going to do before you ever found out about a place like the Marsh building being vacant? Or did hearing about that vacancy inspire you to develop this project?
Well, originally, I was interested in the Marsh building for my other company, Hoosier Green LLC, which is a hydroponics company. And it just kind of snowballed from there at different ways I could utilize the space to my benefit. And I worked on it for a couple years. I started back in 2018 and trying to talk to the city and get the information behind it. And it was a really slow start in getting them to actually engage with me. So it really came down to the building opened up. I read about it in the paper closing down, and I thought that was a perfect opportunity for me to get into a building when I saw that the city was going to be purchasing it.
Obviously, it takes funding to do something like this. I understand that you were in the works of trying to land a pretty sizable grant. What's the current status on that?
Yes, me and Chelsea Jaramillo are working on a USDA Sustainable Agricultural Systems grant, and it's worth approximately $1.6 million. And currently we are in the process of getting the paperwork submitted. And once we do, I believe the deadline is July. So once we do that, we should hear back fairly quickly from them. As well as I have about $600,000 worth of other grants that I'm looking into at the moment.
If you land that grant, what happens from receipt of the grant to ribbon cutting?
The primary utilization of the grant will be used for the brick and mortar facility. We also have a Grow on the Go, which will be launching soon. Our estimation is within 5 to 6 months we'll be launching Grow on the Go. So that $1.6 million will help us by updates, restoration, getting everything in there. I mean, there's a lot of technologies that have to go into a place like this, helping us start up the bakeries, put into and carving out a space for Dapper Cat, as well as inventory and stuff of that nature. So that $1.6 million will go quite a long way, and it should get us up and off the ground with our brick and mortar facility. And the rest of it would come out of a total, it's $2 million to $2.5 million that we're actually looking to raise in order to fund the entire project to full operation. So there would be a couple other places that we wouldn't be focused on, which would be the hydroponics aspect, because we're still going to put that in there, and also the backdoor bakery, which is a commercial sized kitchen.
You've mentioned hydroponics. For those who aren't real clear on its definition, could you draw that out for us?
Hydroponics is growing plants, whether it be herbs or spices or produce such as vegetables, fruits, in a nutrient solution or a nutrient film, usually carried by water, and you add chemicals to help supply the nutrients to the plants themselves. And it's a soilless method of growing produce, and it's usually more sustainable, and it's usually more cost effective, and also can be less harmful to the environment.
Tell us about your partnership with Jericho Chapman and how that's going to merge into the operation of this new facility.
First and foremost, Jericho Chapman has to be one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. She is the chief administrative officer, so she supports the rules by keeping the documents straight. She makes sure to hold on to the simpler things so I can focus on the larger aspects of the project, such as the budget creation and stuff like that. But she definitely has and plays a major role with that. Now, with Dapper Cat, she is planning on setting up a cafe in one of the corners of the store with an accessible patio / deck to it. So that way we can hold concerts and have an area for people to relax outside and enjoy the best of what the West Side has to offer. And that's completely on her. She is doing a fantastic job in designing it and getting everything up and going on that.
As far as the overall concept is concerned, are there any other models that you're following?
In Dayton, Ohio, the Gym City Market is the company that we're actually trying to mirror a lot of our information after. They're a little bit further in the process of opening a cooperative. So we're kind of mirroring them because their demographic and the market that they're trying to hit, it kind of similar to our own. And then on top of it, we do have the Moon Co-op, which is in Lexington, Kentucky. They've been open since 1972, and we've definitely been trying to follow a lot of their processes just based on the fact of the matter that they've been open for such an extended period of time. And then also the Three Rivers Food Co-op up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which has been open since 1976. They're testaments to how things should be operated, how membership should work, and that the cooperative model in and of itself can make a sustainable business or make a sustainable business idea. So we try our best to imitate and mirror those who have done it before and what they're doing, the things they've done right. And we've also talked to companies that have closed in order to ensure that we're not going to make the same mistakes that they've made, and kind of help troubleshoot some of the problems that we've had along the way so we can kind of work around them.
In previous conversations, I've heard you refer to memberships. Could you explain membership to us?
When people refer to memberships, they think that it's kind of like the Sam's Club or Costco, where you have to pay for the membership in order to shop there. With us, that is not the case. The membership is based on whether or not a member of the community wants to have a voting right within our company. So if somebody pays for the membership itself, they now can come to any of the committee meetings and their votes will matter. They can actually help form and shape the trajectory and the goals that our company actually want to achieve. Now, if they just want to come into, they don't want to pay the membership, they can still come in and shop with us as many times as they want. We are an open source store, so we're not going to force somebody to buy a membership just to shop with us.
If you will, walking through the door, what's the experience like?
When you first walk into our doors, you're going to be welcomed with nice, bright colors. You're going to be noticing that a lot of the artwork that is taking place, the signage has come directly from Anderson artists and graffiti artists. And you're going to see fresh produce that is locally sourced from our own farmers, beef that has been locally raised from our own farmers, poultry, eggs, and cheese that are produced by our own farmers, locally sourced and healthier options that more than you would typically see at a traditional grocery store, but you're also going to see the same name brands that you've known and loved your entire life. A counter that is completely full of resources for those who are seeking employment, for those who are seeking help or assistance in some way, shape, or form. You're going to see a door that leads to a little side area that has our No Questions Asked program. And another area, you're going to be able to sit down and use our computers to apply for jobs, not only with our company, but any company within the city of Anderson. You're going to be able to receive help for assistance with getting food. You can be there and signed up for a delivery of your own products, your own food, if you so choose. And then there's just going to be a bunch of happy faces to greet you and help you along the way.
Devil's advocate stepping to the microphone now and asking, what would make this effort not work?
Simple, if the community doesn't get involved. The premise of a cooperative is it's based on the community's drive to provide something for itself. We're going to be stepping down in 3 years, and we're going to hand it over to the city of Anderson, the community members on the west side of the city of Anderson. So the only reason this would fail is if the community itself does not get involved and doesn't join the committee and doesn't vote and doesn't take the time to have a participating role in the actual facilitation and sustainability of the actual grocery.
Are you getting any feedback from the city?
When it comes to the city council, they have been very prompt with us. We receive a response from the actual city council within 24 hours of us supplying a email to them requesting permission to speak at one of the city council meetings. And we were granted for February, so we're really happy with that. Now, the other committees in the other areas, they've been a little bit slower or a little bit less than cooperative with us when it comes to setting up meetings and getting things done. But we foresee that that might change once we start getting the backing from the community that needs to happen.
What's the next step?
So earlier this week, we launched our Valentine's Day box, which is both for sale online and at Dapper Cat Cafe. It is a Valentine's Day quarantine box for those who don't want to travel out, and we'll be more than happy to personally deliver it. We are gaining contributions to help us facilitate the 501c3 process and facilitate getting all that our legal documentation situated. And then after that, we are planning on launching our membership program mid-March, where people can pay for a membership and become a voting member of our committee. And then by the end of the year, we are hoping to be in our actual brick and mortar facility, which is the 2810 Nickel Avenue location. And then within the next 18 months from now, we're hoping that we'll actually be open and operational.
How does one get involved with the process if they'd like to help push this project forward?
Well, anybody can reach out to us on our Facebook page, Project Grocery. That's GROWCERY. Or you can take our surveys, send us a message. You can reach out to Jericho, Bryce, or myself personally. We are currently looking for grant writers and grant researchers. We're looking for those who have backgrounds in specific fields, which are all over, like IT and technology focused and driven professionals that want to get involved. And then we have volunteers, people who just want to volunteer to help get word out and spread our survey all over the map so we can get our market data done, and so that we can show the city that, no, the people really do want this grocery. So I guess that would be the first step that anybody in the community could take, is go on our Project Grocery, scroll down, find the survey, take the survey. That would be the most helpful thing that anybody in the community could do.
Mattie Walsh, we thank you so much for your time and your heart for making our community a better place to live. And you can help your community by supporting the small businesses in it. The future of your community is depending on it. That's the latest buzz in Madison County. Thanks for listening.